Am I the asshole for snapping at someone for badgering me about my height? So I'm 5'9" female in my 20s. I get a lot of people who harass me about my height and it gets old. This older coworker randomly started asking me my body measurements and what size I wear etc. Then she asked me my height and I told her and she kept insisting that I was lying and at least 6 inches. I finally snapped and asked, "What did you even ask me for, just to call me a liar?" She sort of left me alone and tried to be nice to me after that, but this isn't the first time this has happened. I usually don't tell people my height as it's a very touchy subject for me for this reason, but I thought she'd be respectful about it, so I told her. Gggggghh. Not the asshole. What is with people who think it's okay to ask nosy, persistent questions, make comments about other people's bodies? Totally fine to shut that down. So damned rude. Not the asshole. What is wrong with your coworkers? That's not even that tall. Not the asshole, but it might not have been very appropriate considering what you were doing at work. Not the asshole. Interrogating people about their body is rude, but at work it's especially inappropriate. Not the asshole. People always say those types of things to me, except for being short. I'm 5 foot, so pretty short for an adult female. People would always ask me how I got stuff down from top shelves or ask how I can see over the steering wheel. I had a coworker that would pat me on the head, like I was a child. These types of behavior are unacceptable, especially in the workplace. You told her to stop and she didn't. She got what she deserved. NTA. That's super weird of your coworker, and if this is something that's happening on a regular basis you should talk to HR about it. Demanding to know someone's measurements and what size they wear is so inappropriate. You're a person and being tall doesn't make you some sideshow novelty. Coming from another tall lady, I'm 5'11", stand tall, wear the heels if you want to and don't take any shit. Tell them you're 5 feet 3 inches the last you measured. Shrink yourself from there. Not the asshole. Hey, what time is it? 10:15. No, you're wrong, that doesn't sound right to me. Not the asshole. I feel you. At this point, I just start braying laughter like a donkey every time someone over 6 feet asks me, "How's the weather down there?" until they get uncomfortable and apologize. I'm 36. Do you have any idea how many times I've heard that? Not the asshole. I'm 5'10" female and I like to wear heels. It took a long time for me to be comfortable with being that tall. I hate when people make comments. You should ask her how much she weighs, then accuse her of lying. That might shut her up. Zoxo petty girl. Since I was little people always made fun of my height. One day this one girl kept making jokes over and over and I hauled off threw a kickball at her forehead. In that I was the ass. So you ma'am are most definitely not the asshole. Not the asshole. Wildly inappropriate for your coworkers to keep going on about your height. And you're not even particularly tall. I had some guy at the gym telling me every time he saw me that I was so tall for a girl and I must play netball. Eventually I replied, "Is it really that I'm tall for a girl? Or are you just really short for a guy?" He stopped after that. I'm 5'7". Not the asshole. You aren't alone. I'm 5'9" too and people act like I'm a freaking giant sometimes. No idea why though, when men can literally be the same height but are so short? Sorry she was an aw. Not cool of her. You didn't act out of line, don't worry. 5'8" girl here. IDK, why people give us such a hard time, I'd like to be taller. I have this one friend who's 5'5" on the nose. I know this because my best friend, who I've been staring at regularly for near 20 years now, is also 5'5". I know what 5'5" looks like face with tears of joy. So anyway, this newer friend, she insists that she's actually 5'8" and that I'm actually like 6'0" face with tears of joy. Face with tears of joy. I give her a pass since she's a friend, but come on. Little dog syndrome, I guess. She didn't believe it until we whipped out a tape measure. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I am 5 feet 7 inches. I know it's not as tall as you. It's just that it's not normal to be tall in Australia as a female. People don't know where to stop. Sometimes they need a big reaction to realize. As a kid I was teased, outcast, excluded for it. It sticks with you less than 3. I get this. 5 feet 10 and a little bit, may even now be 5 feet 11, and I used to work in bars. Many other scenarios I've dealt with, but mainly bars. Ooh, you're tall for a girl aren't you? Am I? Shit. Is the bar raised there? You can't be that tall, surely? Yes. Yes, I am. Not the asshole, op. People really don't think before opening their mouths. 5'9" is perfectly normal, I'm 5'8". People are odd, aren't they? You're not the asshole. Not the asshole. All those things she asked you were inappropriate to begin with. Then implying you were lying was just over the top wrong. Not the asshole, though I am just under 6 feet y'all and not a single friend has ever harassed me about it, more so I get nicknamed things like Glamazon and the Valkyrie, so in my opinion you ought to be around some kinder friends. Not the asshole. She's a grown-ass adult, she should know better. Not the asshole. That's weird for people to constantly bring up. Like 5 feet 9 inches is tall for a woman but not even that uncommon. Not the asshole, I'm 5'9" as well, and as a cashier I've had a little grown man throw a tantrum because he was shorter than me. I am 5 feet 4 inches m. All trade yaw. Really though, I hear you. It is literally every day that I am badgered about my height. Not the asshole. This is a struggle I relate to a lot. I am also a 5'9" female in my 20s, and I have dealt with the exact same crap. It gets so old. One of the first things people say when meeting me is, "Wow, you're tall." It's like, oh wow, no shit. I had no idea face with rolling eyes, and I also get the, "What? No way, you're at least 6, bullshitu." Like all the time. I'm not particularly fond of my height, and I don't need people pointing it out constantly. I know they might mean no harm, but to me, it's no different than saying, "Oh, you're so short." To a short person. It's unnecessary and rude to make comments about people's bodies. Not the asshole. I'm also 5 feet 9 inches and people do get insistent about, "Really? You aren't taller?" and don't let shit drop. Like if I tell you how tall I am, accept it. I understand the frustration. Not the asshole is a 5 feet 10 inches woman, I feel your pain. The comments, jokes, questions grow old really fast. I've always been insecure about my height my entire life and I would have snapped as well, lol. That's tall, but not unusually tall for a woman and absolutely nothing to be insecure about. Next time ask her how old she is, then say, "Are you sure? You have a lot of wrinkles, are you sure you aren't older?" Not the asshole and WTF? You are not even that tall. You should move to the Netherlands, then you'll be average height for a woman and no one will ask you about it, winking face. I'm 173 centimeters and really don't ever feel tall here. Not the asshole, I honestly get your struggle. I am 5'0" and I'm not growing anymore, so I have been quite close myself to yelling at people over asking about my height. Knowing that you are shorter than most middle schoolers and having it pointed out isn't fun. I'm sorry that people harass you over something you have no control over. I literally never comment on anything that has to do with someone's physical appearance. You never can know what someone thinks of their bodies or how they want to look, and to just ask questions is pretty rude. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I had no idea that was in any way not the norm. I thought 5 feet 9 inches was normal for ladies here in the US. My wife is 5 feet 9 inches, my mom was 5 feet 10 inches. I don't know, I'm kind of an outlier myself. 6 feet 5 inches and male. I worked a summer at McDonald's and at one point a guy came in and he was over 7 feet. The whole kitchen stopped working and were trying to catch a glance. After a few minutes the manager noticed, and she just went up to him and asked what his height was, because the kitchen couldn't work without that knowledge. She also gave him a free meal. I can't imagine what his life is like. So not the asshole. But, a 5'9" woman is more than welcome in my country. The Dutch females are no longer the longest in the world, so we would love to have you. You would blend right in, no questions asked, less than 3. Not the asshole, but also came here to say, I'm 5'9" as well. I get it, I've been this height since junior high. People always make comments, I've always wished I could be petite. It wasn't till my mid-20s that I honestly quit caring. I learned to accept my body type, height included, and I've been so much happier since. I really hope you can come to a point that you accept yourself too. You only get one body, might as well love it and strut it every chance you get. Let the first thing people notice about you be your self-confidence and ability to own a room, not your height. You're beautiful. Not the asshole. My goodness, being 5'9" is really not out of the ordinary. Honesty, back in high school people made comments about me being 5'10", but that was high school. I do not expect that immature behavior from adults. I definitely would have told your coworker off also. Go to Holland, tallest people in Europe. I'm a 5'9" guy and I felt like a midget. Fellow 5 feet 9 inches here and I get it. Not the asshole, and I hope you soon realize being a taller woman is beautiful. Not the asshole. Just get used to the phrase, it is inappropriate to talk about my body at work. This is a form of harassment that creates a hostile work environment. No one at work should be commenting on your body. I'm 5'10" and used to get this all the time in my home country where the average height is much shorter, but since moving to the US I've been overjoyed with how normal I'm treated. 5'9" is pretty normal for girls where I live. Are you living in a midget colony? And no, not the asshole. Move to Northern Europe, you won't stand out winking face. NTA. She was being rude. If she thinks 5 feet 9 inches is 6 feet, she's probably really short herself? She sounds jealous. I have short pointer fingers and one time a customer I was helping kept mentioning how my fingers were unique or cute and wouldn't stop until I said thank you. Like? Why? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. There's a fairly noticeable difference between 5 feet 9 inches and 6 feet if you put two people of those heights next to one another. If it's that big a deal, just find a guy who's 6 feet tall or hell even 5'11" and show that person that they're wrong. Not the asshole. I'm 5'2" and petite. People are going to go on whether you're tall or short. When people make bullshit at my height, or in my case lack thereof, I go along with it and see if I can make funnier comments than them. It's really helped me get over my height issues. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm off to visit the Shire. Not the asshole. I am someone to say that any rude comments are generally uncalled for, but I would even say this comment isn't rude at all. It's just the truth. What did you even ask me for just to call me a liar? As a trans person, I can relate. People love to ask personal shit just to not listen and say whatever they want. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It must suck to have it commented on all the time. I'm 178 centimeters or roughly 5 feet 10 inches, but I live in Australia and that's not considered all that tall. Not the asshole. As a 22-year-old female who is 5 feet 11, I understand completely. I've been rejected by guys purely because of my height. It's so annoying when people are like, I wish I was that tall, or you look taller, or why don't you like being tall? You stand your ground, lovely. Hugely not the asshole. I'm also a 5'9" woman and I constantly have people insisting I'm taller than I am. It gets old super fast. Not the asshole. Not even a little. They were rude and intrusive. I'm 5 feet 9 inches and have gotten questions about my height in the past. Mainly when I was younger. But people will always ask personal stuff. One of the lessons I learned early on in my working life is that I didn't have to answer personal questions if I didn't want to. Don't be afraid to redirect questions or just outright saying it's not their concern. I'm in my 40s and now I'm getting asked about children more than height. Face with tears of joy. Not the asshole. Annoying does as annoying does, doesn't mean you gotta suck it up though.